Everyone thinks the gig economy is 20-somethings with ring lights and hustle mugs.
But the real secret weapon is boomers and Gen Xers who know how to work.
This is Tab. She's been side hustling since before it even had a name.
And this is Jim. He's been running circles around slackers since rotary phones were a thing.
And together, we're Unretired AF.
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Unretired AF podcast, the podcast created especially for the 60 and over rebel generation. That's us, right?
Yep.
And today we're going to be talking about the gig culture. But before we do that, we want to give a shout out to our subscribers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And we hope you will hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Well, let's bust the stereotype. The gig economy isn't just delivery drivers and TikTok consultants. Well, boomers and Gen Xers are dominating certain sectors of the gig economy space. I mean, when you think about consulting, virtual admin work, that's like, Fiverr and what's the other one? eWork, I think, or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
On there, freelance writing, tutoring, handyman jobs, caregiving. Those are all people from our generation.
Yeah. You know, some of us are doing it because we want the extra cash.
Sure.
Others are doing it because they don't want to be put out to pasture.
Right.
So What's the myth of all this? The myth is that the gig economy equals youth. The reality of that is really the gig economy equals grit.
Right. Well, and here's why people over 50 are thriving in this space, even if no one's talking about it. All right. Well, everyone knows that we show up on time, consistently, like grown-ups. And we take pride in doing a job well, not just finishing it.
Yeah. We generally know how to talk to people.
Right.
You know,
which is a lost art.
Would you mind turning around so I can text you? You know, we don't do that.
Right.
We generally don't ghost clients, even though I have a few Karens right now that I do ghost.
In our age range.
Yeah, don't want to talk to them.
Right. But generally we don't.
Yeah. We generally don't need hand holding.
Right.
We generally don't need a safe space in order to do our gig.
Right.
You know, we're just out there trying to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Right.
We don't throw any tantrums if someone uses the wrong Slack emoji.
Right.
You know, this whole emoji thing, I laugh.
I mean, there's a lot of meaning to it. I don't even know. I don't know. But, you know, we don't throw a tantrum if somebody sends us a wrong emoji.
So our forte is coming up and being as old as we are is we assess the situation.
Yeah.
If it needs fixing, we fix it.
Yeah.
And we move on.
Yeah. Well, and if you think you're not in the gig economy, that could not exactly be accurate. I mean, there are a lot of things that people in our generation are doing that they might not consider gig work.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're making homemade stuff and selling it on Etsy, if you're reselling stuff like clothing on Poshmark or selling stuff on eBay, new or used, that's all gig work. I mean, if you're fixing your neighbor's screens or, you know, doing other, you know, things like that in your community, that's gig work. If you're getting paid for it, not if you're getting people from your church or what you do everything for free. That's not gig work.
If you're selling your stuff that you've made at the farmer's market
Right. Exactly. If you're renting out your RV to people, I know there's a lot of people that are doing that. I've even seen people that are renting out their side yard for people to store their RVs or boats in and making some money. I mean, I even would consider Airbnb. That would be a gig type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff. So if you're doing any of that, you're in the gig culture, whether you realize it or not.
Right. Driving part-time, whether it's Lyft or Uber or doing the food pickups or the food delivery, the Instacarts of the world,
DoorDash.
pet sitting,
right. That's
consulting,
a big one.
consulting on Zoom,
right.
All that equals gig work.
Yep. That's right.
If you're exchanging your time or your skills and getting paid for it, that's gig work.
Yeah.
So why is this something new for us? Well, we didn't have apps in the 80s.
Right.
And we damn sure didn't call it a gig. We just called it hustling.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we did. I think all of us have been hustling, whether babysitting, mowing yards. I think you were out there with your tongs getting oysters when you were a kid, selling them before school. I mean, I think our generation's been gigging for since we were teenagers.
It was a different time. It definitely was a different time.
Yeah.
There were certainly no one our age when we were growing up working fast food.
Right.
But then again, fast food was at minimum wage too. It wasn't designed to be able to support a family.
Right.
So things have definitely changed. But don't be embarrassed if you have a gig. If it gets you out of the house and you like it.
Exactly.
Enjoy.
Well, and so how do you actually make the gig life work for you without selling your soul to the app?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first thing you do is you have to assess what your skills are.
Yeah.
What do you know about that you can leverage into a gig?
Sure.
And those are the things that you want to do. And also assess your sanity level. Like I know there's a lot of people. I have a friend and she drives, she's retired and gets a pension, but she also drives for one of the food delivery, I think DoorDash. And it can be a little crazy. I mean, it can be a little crazy. She gets out there and it can be a little sanity challenging, for her. So make sure that you do that. And also, if you're doing a gig that you're pricing something out, know your worth. I mean, part of the problem, and I tell Jim this all the time, is our generation doesn't charge enough for what we do because we were raised with this idea that not to brag. And so we often undervalue our skills. I mean, honestly, I like to set Jim's price with his clients because he won't charge enough. And he's worth it. He's been doing it a long time and he knows what the hell he's doing. So
the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody is boundaries matter.
Yeah.
Set your boundaries. Your hours matter too. Set your hours and stick to them.
Right.
Look back then to see on your little side gig if your hours are making it worth you doing it. I mean, the last thing you want to do is work in your side gig. You work 8 hours by the time you figure it up and you're driving and you've driven 400 miles and you only made $50. Is that really worth it?
No.
So, as Tav said, use your experience as a strength, not as something on the side.
Right.
No one knows better than you of what your capabilities are.
Right.
So, the last thing you want to do is let some 23-year-old CEO at one of these companies tell you that you're outdated.
Right.
When you can outwork anybody in that company.
Right.
And, Jim, you're working way too hard and you're making everybody else look bad. Well, screw them. Right. They need to work harder.
Yeah.
So it's just this, the social pressure of the younger generation. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but their work ethic is not what ours is. It's just not.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons that people like the boomers and the Gen Xers entering the gig economy because we can be counted on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we don't just like, oh, I can't come to work today because I have a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing something. It's like, we just, and I'm not necessarily saying that, I'm not making a judgment about whether it's good or it's bad. Because I think a lot of times our generation too sort of sucked it up at times when we shouldn't have.
Right.
We didn't really look at things that were important like mental health and everything. But all I'm saying is from the perspective of these companies, they like it that we're like that.
Yes.
Yes. So it's not a judgment on them. But whereas the younger people, I mean, we talked about it in another episode, they do a thing called quiet quitting, which is, this is not really pertaining too much to gig work as a regular job where they don't want to do anything that's not on the job description.
Right.
They don't want to help out. They don't want to be a team player. And, and I get it. I mean, in their mind, the company doesn't really have them in mind, isn't really being a team player towards them. So they're not going to, go over and above either. So I understand that perspective, but I do know that employers and also these gig companies understand how we're wired and we can't really help it. I mean, I can't go in and do a shitty job anywhere. Can you?
No.
Even when I'm volunteering, doing stuff, I can't do a shitty job. Yeah. I'm just not wired that way. So
I agree.
Well, and the gig economy isn't just built for the young. I mean, it's being held up by the experienced people. And, boomers and Gen Xers are the ones that are behind the scenes making it all work. Yeah. And everyone's depending on it right now.
Yeah. So if you're working gigs right now, you're not behind. You are ahead of the curve. Yeah. Whether you're doing it just to get out of the house, whether you're doing it to make extra money, or whether you're doing it just because you want to.
Right.
That's wonderful. You're not old.
Right.
You are the generation of the original side hustle.
Right.
And you're still damn good at what you're doing. So
that's why they're unretired AF.
That's right. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because if you want to, you can.
Right.
So we have a comment section. If you have a side hustle right now, or if you're into gig work, or even if you think it's crazy that people are doing it, let us know in the comments.
Right.
If you think there's something better, that's not related to playing golf in 114 degree every day, or all that's regional, of course. All I'm saying is if you have something that you have interaction and you enjoy it, whether it's volunteering and that's awesome. That's wonderful, but that's not for everybody.
Right.
So if you have a comment about this, or if you'd like to see something something different in another episode, please let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you like our channel and you like our silly antics and you want to see more of it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We put out new content every Monday through Friday, every weekday, Monday through Friday. Well, we're not slowing down.
And neither should you. And together, we're Unretired AF.